Hello, everybody. Good morning. Hello, and welcome. We are supposed to have started now, but we're having a difficulty with technology. So we're going to go and flow with this. My name is Christy Iwuchukwu. And if you are in today and you are joining us right now, you are in for a treat. Today is Women's Coaching Association Summit that we do every quarter. And I have amazing lineup of women speakers that are joining us today to help you really strategize, get some tool, and have fun while you are doing so. So my name is Christy Iwuchukwu. I am the CEO and founder of Women's Coaching Association, and I am super excited joining all the amazing speakers we have today. And if you want to know more on how to become a member of Women's Coaching Association, please go on over to womenscoachingassociation.com. Women's with an S is womenscoachingassociation.com. And there you're going to find all the perks on becoming a member today. But let's keep this fun going because I'm about to introduce our first speaker today. Our first speaker is LaWanna Parker, Coach LaWanna Parker. She is a TV host and she is also a beauty consultant, but more so, she helps you with personal development. Today, she's going to help us understand how to look good on camera and on stage. Please help me welcome our first guest today, Miss LaWanna Parker. LaWanna, take it away, please.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity to speak at your Rock Your Brilliance Summit. Today, we are going to talk about how to look good on camera. Every woman wants to look her best. I know for myself, I don't care how many years I add on, as I tell my children all the time, I'm not getting older. I'm just getting better. So that means no matter where I'm at, I always want to look my best. And now, since Zoom has become the new norm for now, tomorrow we don't know what the new norm will be. But for now, it's being on Zoom. And if you're going to be on Zoom and you're in business, you want to look your best because, as we know, most people make a decision within 30 seconds of seeing you as to what they think about you. So today I will share some things that you can do when you go on camera. One of them is to make sure that the lighting is correct. And that requires some practice, some maneuvering, because you've got to get it in just the right position. And it's also going to determine the room that you're in. If the room you're in is really dark, then you definitely want to have good lighting in there. And you may require 2 or 3 lamps. Now, for example, for me, over here to the right of me, I have a window that's letting in a beautiful natural light. So I don't need an artificial lamp because this does an excellent job. But I also have a light that's overhead, directly in front of me. Now, why would I want the lamp in front of me? Because I want my face to be seen. To have the lamp behind me means I'm going to be in shadow and could possibly be much darker on camera than I would want to be. I want you to see every little feature that I make, every expression, because since I can't move around the way I would normally if I was up on stage, you have to determine what I'm doing and whether I'm saying the right thing that you trust based on those expressions on my face. Now, I also have a second lamp because the one in front of me is wonderful. It does a great job. But sometimes, depending on the time of the day, this side of my face appears a little bit dark. So when that happens, I have to have another lamp on this side to even it out. because when you see me, I want you to see the whole me and see that I look the same no matter what. Now, the other thing about being on camera is that you want to also sit in, if you're sitting or if you're standing, you want to be at a level and close enough to the camera so that people, when they look at you, they can almost tell what color your eyes are. And there's something else because some of us are a little more endowed. You don't want to be too far back from the camera because, as you know, a camera does add 10 pounds to you, all right? Or at least it used to be. I don't know if it's the same. Maybe they fixed it so it doesn't. But at any rate, you don't want to take the chance of looking like you're all over the place, all right? So always have the camera so that it's above the girls, all right? The ladies know what I'm talking about. So make sure that when we see you on camera, we see you and we're listening to your message. That brings me to another point, and that's your background. Now, we are blessed to be able to have virtual backgrounds. I know when I first started doing Zoom, the room that I was in, I didn't particularly like people to see because it wasn't the best. Things were all over the place. I really had no place to put them. So I was always uncomfortable whenever I was on Zoom. And then I found out that you have a virtual background. And what a difference. Because if no one could see what was going on in the back of me. My grandson, when he was here, could walk past and nobody would even know. But the thing about virtual backgrounds is you have to be very careful. You need a green screen so that your picture comes up correctly and you don't have a great deal of wavering. If you've used a background, one of those virtual backgrounds, you'll notice that sometimes a woman's hand, well, a woman or man, when they're using their hands or they go to pick up something that they want to show you, it goes in and out. So one moment you might see the hand, the next is disappear. They're trying to show you the title of a book and they're trying to angle it book so that you can see it because the virtual background does not like it when you do too much motion. So virtuals work wonderful, but you have to be careful in how much movement you do. You don't want to be going all over the place and rocking and whatnot because what happens is you're going in and out of that background. Sure, nobody can see what's going on behind you, but they see you going in and out of that background. Not only that, depending on the background, it may look like you have a floating head and no body. Don't want that to come across. You always want to look professional anytime you're going on camera. Now, if you're an auto mechanic and you're talking to a bunch of mechanics about what to do with the car, that might be different. You could get away with probably wearing a t-shirt and no one would think anything about it. But if you're a professional, a woman, and you are trying to make an impression, you want the people who are listening to you to feel confident in you. And whether you believe it or not, I know everybody says, well, I can wear what I want. And if they don't like it, tough. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work. And if you're having difficulty in getting clients, that might be part of your problem. You don't want to wear things that's going to overshadow you, but at the same time, you want something that's going to enhance your looks. For example, I'm wearing red today because the background that I have is busy and there's quite a bit of green back there. This happens to be a backdrop that I pinned to my wall. And what I like about it is because when you're looking at it, and if you look close enough, you can just about make out that there's some people across the street with some children in their backyard. So it looks a little more realistic, uh, and it looks like I'm in my patio playroom or something, but it looks a little more efficient. There's not a lot of clutter for it because it is a chair on one side and a potted plant on the other, which adds a little bit of greenery. Therefore, I have to be careful when I use this particular backdrop because I can't wear a lot of green. I want you to notice me and not see me fade into what's going on in the background. Now, I do have another background that I use, and that's one that's my high rise office. I like it when people ask me, "Oh, I didn't know you had a high rise office." Uh, and it looks good. So, lighting is extremely important. What you use for a backdrop or a virtual background you is extremely important. The clothing that you wear. I've chosen this red dress, as I said, because it stands out against that backdrop. It doesn't fade into it. But I've also chosen to wear this necklace to add a little lightness to my face so that everything just kind of flows together. I could have put a scarf on, but I'm one of those people who has a short neck. So for me to wear a scarf, I usually will have it come over one shoulder or have it hanging down very low so that it gives some length to my face and looks like I have a little bit of neck. Now, as I was saying, let me give you a brief recap on what I was just talking about because these things are extremely important. If you want to put your best foot forward, always make sure of your camera before you go on camera on Zoom or whatever medium you choose to do. Work with your camera, and as I said, there are times when 1 minute is going to work, everything is just perfect, but the next time, depending on the time of day and where you're at, it's not going to work as well. Also, one of the things I did not mention, and I probably should, again, with being authentic, which is great, but please be careful with how much stuff you have behind you, because again, you want people to pay attention to you and not what's going on behind you. Meaning, if your room is cluttered, you've got some pictures that people might be, what, what is that? Oh, wow, I wish I had that. Instead of paying attention to what you were saying, you're going to lose your audience, and you may have said just the thing they needed to hear. Remember your clothing because it is important. Wear clothing that's going to work with your backdrop and work with you. If you know someone who is a good image consultant, you might set up an appointment with them and find out what are your best colors to wear. Because again, you want the things that speak the truth from you. And positioning yourself is extremely important. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit of space above my head. I don't want my head going into the ceiling, appearing to go into the ceiling. So you make sure that you're sitting in such a position that there's some space above your head and you're close enough to the camera that if you look carefully, you can just about see the color of my eyes. And hopefully, if I'm staring into the camera just right, you will feel as if I'm sitting across to you and carrying on a conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, for more information on how to look good on camera, please go to my website, which is beautybylawanna.com, and schedule an appointment. I'd love to work with you and to help you on that. But not only that, but personal development in other areas. And when I say personal development, I'm not just talking about clothing or makeup, which we did not get into today, because most women know how to apply makeup. Once in a while, there's someone that doesn't, and we can certainly help you with that as well as skincare. But if you're like me, sometimes I want more direct contacts. You can always email me at LaWanna at LaWannaSpeaks.com or call me at 916-698-0839. Thank you, Christy, again for this wonderful opportunity to share with your audience this morning.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, LaWanna, for really accommodating the time and the technology. I appreciate you, and thanks for all the information you provided. And I hope that people get to contact you. And thank you so much. And at this time, I am going to bring our next guest. We're running a little bit late, but that's what technology is all about, right? You get to adapt and keep moving. So our next guest, thank you, LaWanna.